and Mustafa's body was narrating its own story of cruelty. Faisal Eddy says that only the body of Mustafa was present in that car, while his head, legs and even hands were cut off, where on the one hand news about this case spread like a storm on newspapers, TV channels and social media. The news of Mustafa Amir's body being found like this falls on this mother's heart like lightning, which was only blaming Sindh police till now. On the day of 11th January 2025, forensic reports come to light, and the DNA of the body found at Hub Chowki matches with Mustafa's mother. But in this case, the fifth twist came at the time when the police arrested Mustafa's friend, Shiraz Khan, 14th January 2025, where after the police interrogation, now Shiraz was speaking like a parrot, that Mustafa had gone to Armagan's house. This was the same house where Armagan not only insulted him on New Year's night, but, on the same night, a murder plan of Mustafa was being made. Shiraz further says that Armagan first killed Mustafa with a steel pipe, and then fired straight bullets at him. As soon as he picked up the stick and turned to Armagan, he picked up his rifle and started firing at him. To confirm Shiraz's statement, the forensic team checks his phone, and they get a big proof. This was a voice note made by Mustafa on the 6th of January, in which Mustafa was talking about going to Armagan's house. He said, "Brother Rafiq, I am going to Armagan's house for a while. You get free from the gym once, then come to me, or bring Shababa as soon as possible." So on Shiraz's statement and Mustafa's last voice note, the police started preparations for a raid at Armagan's house. 14th January 2025, at 3:30 p.m., under the supervision of SSP investigation Tariq Daharajo, heavy police force surrounded Armagan's house. Now a group of police was moving forward while taking position and clearing. After clearing the ground floor and party hall, as soon as this group of police started moving up the stairs, a man with a stick in front of him appeared and opened a fire burst on this group of police. That's why 2 police officers were shot. But finally, the police officers captured this man, and after removing the mask, they found out that it was none other than Armagan Qureshi himself. Now on one side, the police start searching Armagan's house, in which 64 laptops, many mobile phones and some modern weapons, like a machine gun, were also included. All this is found. On the other side, Armagan's father, Kamran Qureshi, also comes to the scene. Armagan's father, Kamran Qureshi's body language was very rude. 15th January 2025. Now, this case is officially registered in Karachi's Anti-Terrorism Court Number 3. 17th January 2025, Karachi's Anti-Terrorism Court Number. 3 evidence was presented in front of the judge for the initial study. Witness statements and forensic reports were brought forward. At this time, Armagan's father said in court that Mustafa was a drug dealer and his son Armagan is innocent. This was the point in which the defense tried to shift the case to Mustafa. At the same time, the CIA also revealed that there was no contact with any of Mustafa's drug cartels. The case was clear in the initial study. If necessary, Armagan's mouth had to be opened, and the whole truth had to be told. 18th January 2025. Now another raid was carried out at Armagan's house. In the last raid, it was a coincidence or a mistake of the police, but a room was left in search of the police. When the room was opened, a distinct smell of blood was coming from there. The things in the room were upside down as if there was a fight there. Blood stains were present in the room. And then the police get a suspicious mobile phone from there. And the phone that was found was not of anyone else, but of Mustafa Amir. And the blood marks were also matched with the blood sample of Mustafa Amir's mother, Wajiha Amir. But Armagan was still in the custody of the police, and he said in this hearing that the police beat him up. When the shirt was put up, there was no sign of beating. On this, Armaghan said that he was beaten on the lower part of the waist. Now, you can think of it as a recommendation or the truth, but there were some hands that were supporting Armaghan behind this case because the anti-terrorism court removed Armaghan from the police remand and passed an order to send him to central jail for judicial remand, 25th January 2025. Now, this case had a second hearing, and in this hearing, Shiraz Khan was going to be presented in court. He confesses that Mustafa's murder was carried out in his house with the help of steel pipe and bullets from Armaghan's hands. On the one hand, the anti-terrorism court further intensified the hearing of this case, and on the other hand, on 19th January 2025, when this case came back to the ATC said that the police's reaction in this case is very dull. With these remarks, 3 police officers were suspended, but the biggest shock of the case was that the court sent Armaghan to judicial remand. At this decision, public outrage and pressure on the police also began to increase. To take Armaghan in remand custody, the police submitted another request to the ATC, but for some reason the ATC rejected this request of the police on 11th February after many days of hearing. Sindh police did not accept this decision and appealed to the Sindh High Court on 17th February. Sindh High Court finally rejected the decision of the ATC on 20th February after hearing a brief hearing, and Armaghan was ordered to appear in front of the ATC again. Now, when this case came back to the anti-terrorism court with the remarks of the Sindh High Court, finally, on 20th February, the ATC gave Armaghan a 4-day physical remand to the police, which was the biggest success of the police in this case, where on the one hand the police started the process of opening Armaghan's mouth. On the other hand, the judicial magistrate also allowed the exhumation of Mustafa's body. In this exhumation process, Mustafa's body will be taken out of the AD cemetery and his post-mortem will be conducted, and the real cause of death will be known. 21st February 2025. Finally, the biggest progress in this case took place, and the news of Armaghan's confession began to come on the scene. Yes, in the police remand, Armaghan finally confessed that he killed Mustafa Amir with his own hands. According to the investigation, Armaghan first called Mustafa Amir to his house and tortured him for 3 hours. When Mustafa Amir fainted, his mouth was closed with tape and he was taken to the Hub. There, near a hill, Armaghan opened the trunk of the car and saw that Mustafa was still alive. The monster Armaghan poured petrol on half-dead Mustafa Amir and burned him along with the car. In this case, Shiraz Khan is also an equal criminal, because Armaghan told in his confession that he and Shiraz did this disgusting job together, and to escape from there he first used a Suzuki pickup and then a taxi. This case was made as complicated as possible, obviously, where on the one hand was the wealthy family of the criminal, on the other hand, those nameless hands that were somewhere giving hope to the shoulders of the criminal Armaghan. To make this case more complicated, the police officers were killed. Armaghan was given judicial custody. These were all steps that did not need to be taken. According to you, who are these hands that were in constant contact with Armaghan and his father? What was the work that these two fathers and sons used to do? Because of which not only were there modern weapons in their homes, but there was no fear of the law in their hearts. Do let us know in the comment section in your opinion if you want justice to be served against Mustafa Amir and Armaghan gets the most severe punishment for his crime. Then share this video as much as possible and become the voice of Mustafa Amir. For such powerful and true stories, do subscribe to Khalifa's Theory Lab.